let me see if I can send a thing back through
Okay.
to stream. Um,
We're going to wait for people to show up.
There's 10 people here.
oh, 10? Cool.
I'm going to put it in the Discord.
And put it in our Marvelous Investigates.
I
too.
can't.
I mean, you're
go
more
to
clear,
Facebook.
too.
There they are.
You're much clearer this time. You're not foggy this time. Blurry.
Yeah, I figured it out.
It was the OneDrive.
It was our OneDrive that was uploading. It's still trying to catch up on uploading pictures.
Ah, I see.
And it was downloading, so that is why I'm like, why me? It was me. All right, let's see here. Definitely was Randy. Nope, it was me.
Me.
Hi, Bruce. Hi, Teresa. That's much better. Thank you, Stephanie.
Hey, everyone.
V. And we're back. Yes, V, we're back.
We're back. All right. See if we can get this report out.
All right. Nice and clear now. So much better. Sometimes feedback comes from having a device too close to another device. Yeah, it wasn't even a device. It was my OneDrive. My OneDrive, I'm not kidding you guys. I haven't even scanned all my pictures in, but it's like mega gigabytes, megabytes, whatever you want to call it.
It takes so long.
And I've had this computer how long, and it still hasn't uploaded all of them.
Oh my gosh. Hey, Jill, Tracy, V, Christy.
Hey,
Debbie, how are you doing?
Jill.
Stacy.
See that, Marv? V's back.
V's back. Hi, V.
Yeah, V.
Sounds better. Thank you, Lollipop.
Hey, Raggedy Susan.
Jane from the country. Hello.
Hey, Jane.
Praise the Lord, Sandy says. Oh, I love it. Welcome back, everybody.
Hey,
oh, good. You can hear me perfectly.
Well, let's dive into it, guys.
Well, let's see. Let's make sure everybody's coming back. Blame Randy. He can take it.
Someone said that they found it. Okay, never mind.
Marvin just wanted to check your loyalty. Yes. Let's see. Sorry for blaming you, Randy.
It's all right.
Oh, I love this one. Time to go Mac and never go back.
Yep. Hey, Angela.
Okay, everybody. I'm so sorry for the delay.
Grismatic, how you doing?
Grizz, how are you doing, buddy?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, V. Lynn is a little bit busy tonight. I told her to take the night off and rest, so I have to do one quick thing here. I just got to check something real quick, and then we'll get started. So
good, Grismatic, good.
Okay, we're good. I want to make sure the sound was good. Jer says, I don't always agree with these guys, but they are genuinely the nicest people that cover Delphi. Always a good conversation. P.S. I still think it was Randy. Stopped when you muted him. Sus. I love it. All right. So.
All right. Before we get started, we're going to let everybody know now. We will not be using no names, no initials of any sort. So please don't ask, because we're not giving up no names or anything like that. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. So tonight our discussion is Internet Geek. That's what we have named this person.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, Randy, Shane, you want to start it out?
Go ahead, Randy.
All right. Well, here's what we have. The title, of course, Internet Geek. What we found out, one, this person does have an Army background, military background. He was a military police officer. He's received military and police training and trained in behavioral science and also in hand-to-hand combat. And they received training in multiple individual combats, experience level, computer skills. He's an expert in IT, computer skills, expert with hard drives and operation systems, and start his own company here in Indiana, which is 9 blocks from TK's house. Then the branch to Las Vegas. Now, Las Vegas' location since been closed. A communication with Tan.
410.
410, yeah. He's also expert in cell phones. He managing for cell phone companies. He knowledge of cloning phones. He's knowledge of hijacking SIM cards, and also knowledge of hacking too. And he also has a knowledge of banking skills. Now, skills like transfer money, work as a correction officer. He has experience in special controls in the labor area. IG sold or still sells in Peru, Indiana.
And I forgot to put marijuana.
Marijuana, yeah.
So he sells or still sells marijuana in Peru.
Yeah. So educational in Arabic language, and he's connected to TK and KK because his father dated the woman who lived next door to TK and KK. IG was interviewed by Ali. He was within the age range and physical characters of BG. Now, IG drives past the bridge every day and took off work on February 13th. Now, IG placed himself at the bridge on the 12th and on the 13th, interjected himself into the case and taunt Ali. We receive a list of every residence on North County Club Road and cross-references every name with anyone who was involved with this case. Now, IG has relatives that lives in North County Club Road. Theories we have is, did IG kill the girls because he believed they were already lost or could not be saved because they sent photos to pedophiles? 2, IG be the guy in the ski mask that asked the young girls for at her address. KK already knew the address. Now, KK denies meeting, living, and having. And if IG clones KK phones without his knowledge, he would not know. IG arranged to meet Libby or Abby, having a discussion with her. Now, 4, the transcripts, detectives were referring to 2 different people using Anthony Schott's profile. Now, detectives will refer to TK as your dad, but when they were asking about the other person that had access to KK's phone, they used him as an example. Why are you protecting him? Now, the detective kept trying to get the information on who lived on North County Club Road. Either the phone was cloned or information sold in Dropbox. And the transcript pages 165 through 171, they are talking about North County Club Road, and KK describes friends as being in the military. So
now we're gonna break this down a little bit, but before we do, I'm gonna stop sharing, and let me see here. We're gonna look at some comments. Quit looking to your left, Randy. It looks like you and Frank gonna kiss.
what?
I love it.
I'll move my computer someplace else then.
Oh. All right. Hi, Jane. Everybody's saying hello. Okay, I got to go down a little bit.
So, what you guys
Frank
think?
Weister, the suspense is killing me. Oh my God, really? Third person, no lot. Okay. All right. I want to get to the part where you started reading.
Okay.
How is he connected to this case? That's the first question.
How do you relate to?
I'll go ahead. We got a list of, like Marv said, sent to us of all the residents that live off Country Club Road, North Country Club Road, and we cross-referenced every name to any person that we knew that had been involved or mentioned in the case, and one name popped out at us immediately. And then we started doing a lot of background check on this guy and started finding out information, and that's how we came up with the Internet Geek, because of all of his experience. The relative that lives on North Country Club Road, which they insisted it was Keegan being on Country Club Road when he insisted it wasn't. So what we were thinking, with this person with the knowledge of the technology of cell phones and computers, he had to have cloned Keegan Klein's phone and all the apps, and was using his family's residence IP address to make it look like it was Keegan when it was actually him doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, either Keegan dropped the information to this person, or this person cloned the phone, and Keegan didn't know nothing about it. Because through the transcripts, Keegan is clearly denying anything, especially when he said that he cut all contact with Libby around the 2nd or 3rd of February because she was annoying, so he blocked her. So how is she still getting messages from Keegan if he supposedly blocked her? Well, of course, if his phone's been cloned, this person's acting like Keegan when Keegan doesn't know anything about it.
Oh yeah,
that's my take on it.
This is why I keep saying the Kleins are innocent. They're kind of like, they throw this stuff at them.
They're being used as a patsy right now in this investigation, basically. Don't get us wrong. We do not condone what the Kleins have done. Yeah. They're a bunch of sick son of a bitches, excuse my French, and I hope they rot in hell.
Yeah, they should be in jail. They should be in jail for what they're doing.
Right. But to pinpoint him and his father as the killer, trust me, guys, we spent Saturday out there at Delphi and walked the terrains and everything. And with the health that Tony Klein is in, or was in at that time, there is no way he could have committed this crime with all the terrain, the hills, the ravines, everything included. His health would have not allowed him to do that.
And just to answer your question, Judy, the first day we were out at the trails,
we did not
get the photo because
it was really cold.
It was really cold. It was really cold. I was trying to cross the bridge for the first time. The individual that was going to take the picture from the second platform turned around to help me. And then the tripod and the phone and the camera all went in the creek. So, stories of the stone. I am so sorry you lost your phone and tripod because you tried to help me on the bridge.
And
I
now
feel so bad about that.
Okay. Next.
Vid Inquiry says, I figured he sold it when in Vegas. Was probably what covered his expenses out there. Oh my God, Sleuth, if you're in here.
I think somebody says no. Tell him somewhere. Tell him Sleuth we're on, but
Yeah.
uh,
IG stands for Internet Geek.
Yeah.
And that is what we have named
This
the
person.
POI.
yeah, we were thinking a best way of naming him, and we came up with several different names, and this just popped out just what we need to explain who he is.
So as far as we know, this Internet Geek was not debunked.
He has a lot of things in his attic, and he knows. And when Abby's phone was reset, and it sounds like to me this guy cloned her phone and knew exactly where she was going and been. So, and that's why
this guy is smart enough to where he could have cloned multiple phones at one time and been using Keegan Klein's phone to connect with these individuals and also spy on other individuals.
Sammy, this person has military background.
So he's trained just from my experience, guys, from being in the military. You are trained to be able to handle multiple people at one time.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks, Teresa. Thanks for contacting Sleuth. Thanks. So this guy.
Thank you, Jane.
This guy had two business, one here in Peru, Indiana, and one in Las Vegas. And the one in Las Vegas has been closed down. Now he has gone with several other fake names. We found out that under his business he's owning. So that's kind of like prodding the tax people, but he knows the Kleins. He had access to their internet, and the business he owns, he runs by himself. You would think there would be more people in his business, but did he work at Subaru? Well, he goes to work there. Hey, Sleuth, how you doing? And I was telling Jennifer and Frank Muster that there's other ways he can go to SIA. I don't know why.
So do we want to, since Sleuth is in here?
Yeah, hey, bring Sleuth in here. Yeah, bring Sleuth in here.
Yeah, bring Sleuth in. Now,
because he missed the first part, so we're going to have to
go back with him and explain what what was thrown in our lap.
Yeah.
I'll reread it to him. Is he coming on?
Yeah, I'm sure he will.
Sleuth, I sent you a link.
Come on, buddy. Where you at?
I can't come in, but I'm good in the chat.
All right.
I'll reread the stuff again for Sleuth.
All right, I'm going to share it. So
just share it on the screen and Randy can read it from wherever he's got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got it up?
There we go.
All right, I'll read it.
Yep.
Okay. Now this is the POI is the Internet Geek. IG means. So Internet Geek was in the United States Army as a military police officer, received military and police training in behavior science, train in hand-to-hand combat, received training in multiple individual combats, experience level computer skills, expert at IT computer skills, expert with hard drives and operation systems. Started his own company in Indiana, which is 9 blocks from TK's house. Then branched to Las Vegas. Las Vegas' location has since been closed. Communicates with Fortan. Experts in cell phones, manager for a cell phone company, knowledge of cloning phones, knowledge with hijacking SIM cards, knowledge with hijacking, knowledge of bank, skills of transfer of money, work as a correctional office, has experience in special control in the labor area. Now, IG sold or still sells in Peru and Indiana.
Marijuana.
Yeah.
Right.
Educated in Arabic language, connected to TK and KK because of his father dating a woman who lived next door to TK and KK. Now, IG was interviewed by Ali. He was within the age of the range physical characteristics of BG. IG drives past the bridge every day and took off for work on February 13th. Now, IG placed himself at the bridge on the 12th and the 13th. IG injected himself into the case and taunt Ali. We receive at least every residence on North Calling Club Road and cross-reference every name with anyone who was involved with this case. Now, IG has a relative that lives on North Calling Club Road. Theories. This one theory: did IG kill the girls because he believed they were already lost, or could it not be saved because they sent photos to pedophiles? Now, 2, could IG be the guy in the ski mask that asked the young girls for her address? KK already knew the address. KK denies meeting Libby. If IG cloned KK's phone without his permission or knowledge, he wouldn't know IG arranged to meet Libby or was having a discussion with her. 4, in the transcripts, detectives were referring to 2 different people using the Anthony Shots profile. The detectives will refer to TK as your dad, but when they were asking about the other person that had access to KK's phone, they used him as an example. Why are you protecting him? Now, the detectives kept trying to get the information on who lived on North Calling Road. Either the phone was cloned or the information sold in the Dropbox. And the transcript, page 165 through 171, they are talking about North Calling Road, and KK describes friends as being in the military. So, and right now, Becky is being hacked on her accounts.
She has 3 fake Instagram accounts and 1 fake Facebook account, which I notified her of this morning, gave her all the information on the fake accounts so that she could take it to law enforcement and help find out who it is, or at least get rid of them, because tons of people right now are getting friend requests from Becky, and she put out a post today that said she does not send friend requests.
Yeah.
So if you get one, do not respond to it.
So this tells me Internet Geek is doing it again. If he's at home, he is putting himself behind the family and make it look like her. So he's really hacking into Becky and the family.
Okay, let's go over this North County Country Club Road one more time for Sleuth, since he's on his phone.
Okay.
We've been working with a retired detective, and he dropped a list of names for us to look into, who are all residents that live on North Country Club Road. We cross-referenced every name on that list that he sent us, which was like 75 families, 76 families or something like that. And cross-referenced through any name that has been mentioned or brought up in the case in the last 5 years. We went through the whole list, and one name stood out. And then we connected IG to being a relative at this house. Well, they kept saying, Ellie kept saying that Keegan's phone was pinging from an IP address at this house on North County on Country Club Road. Well, if his phone had been cloned by IG was using his relative's IP address to make contact with Libby that day.
Or any other of the victims.
Exactly.
Especially.
So, and then they, the investigation's always, a lot of it's been in Vegas too, right? Well, the IG, since he owns or whatever he is, a manager, owner of a business, an IT computer consultant firm in Peru, and then all of a sudden it branches out to Vegas. I mean, what's the coincidence of that?
And this individual has the skills, believe me, to do everything. He's he's got knowledge of operating systems and everything. So hacking, cloning, hacking SIM cards would be nothing for him.
Especially hacking in the internet system in their home.
Right.
And if you look up his business on the internet, it tells who it is, but he uses it in instead of his real name, he uses it. You know what we're talking about?
Yeah.
The Roman name. He changed
Roman name.
It was used as a Roman name, but in English, it's his name. But if you notice the picture that he's using, you can tell it's a model picture, and it kind of resembles Anthony Shots, the hairdo, the whole works. And I'm like, this guy is nuts.
Yeah, it resembles the model, Anthony Shots.
Yeah.
And like
models him.
And then all of a sudden here lately, Libby's Twitter account's been hacked. And it's just.
Well, and you have Becky, who's been hacked.
Yeah.
Then you have Kelsey, who's been hacked. Her wedding thing has been hacked. And people have been leaving nasty messages on there.
And so this is the internet geek who's doing it right now.
And
that's what we believe, yes.
The detective or retired detective, I should say, that we've been working with, explained to us that IG knows what he's doing from his training. He is playing a game with LE right now because they know. He basically said that they do a point scale system on how they determine if they're going to charge somebody with a crime. And he said he's got over 40 points leading to this one individual. He said they could already have charged him right now, but he believes the reason why they haven't is they want to make sure that he is not going to be able to get out of it in any way, shape, or form.
And I think that goes the same for TK as far as the pedophile ring. I think they're trying to lock down charges on him for that.
Right. And like the retired detective also said that he noticed through the transcripts, because he used to be an interrogator, and he caught some key points in the interrogation that was basically he was talking to the public instead of TK or KK, giving them hints. They were making an emphasis on North Country Club Road. And that's where he picked up something, and he started looking into it. And that's when he sent us the list of all the people that lived on Country Club Road and asked us to see if there's anybody on that list that pops out at you that's been mentioned in the case before or talked about. And that's when we come up with IG.
Yeah.
So
now he's being a terrorist towards the German family, Becky and them, and it's just he's getting away with it and taunting the family now since he's not in jail, and that's the other reason. I think that's why the cops wanted to put TK in jail to get to the internet geek, and and he's messing up. Honestly, he's starting to mess up. Bad guys always somehow mess up, and he is really messing up. Showing that he's hacking into Becky and the family. So this is where his messing up comes in. They always mess up somehow. And this is what's going on. He's messing up.
All right, let's go and look at some of the comments. So this is where Sleuth joined in. What's up, guys? We've got some. JP was ruled out by police. Could it be said BG's voice is similar to this person? I just come in, but I'm good in the chat. What's up?
We believe he was using a burner phone. That's why they can't tie him.
So this guy is known to you guys, but not someone who's been a publicized POI?
Yes, he was at one point in time, but we found out information I don't think anybody else knew about relatives living on North Country Club Road. Maybe Sleuth might know about more of it. I don't know.
Well, see, the other thing,
that was what was passed down to us from the retired detective.
Well, the other thing, he asked Hal to delete some of the photos in his computer system.
Yeah, he was using Fortan. It's a private or underground company that helps somebody delete shit so it can never be found.
Yeah.
All right. So are you just referring to him as IG, right? Yes.
Yes.
Like we said, but from the beginning of the broadcast, guys, we will not use no names, no initials. There's some of you in there that know who we're talking about.
He was a corrections officer too.
Yes.
Snell, we have talked to the police, so
let's see here. The description is not necessarily JP. Some things don't fit JP's information, as I recall it. But I'm curious about report of a POI using Arabic in posts.
That's IG.
I've heard no one has been cleared, so just IG? We haven't heard that IG is cleared.
And like I said before, guys, I'm going to say it again, and this is just my opinion. TK, with the health conditions he had back then to now, we were out there last Saturday and actually tried to recreate going down the hill, and I went one direction through the hills, down ravines, through the woods, everything possible to get to the site where the girls were found. And then Marv and her kids did the hill thing. And let me tell you something. This person has to be physically fit to do what he had to do. There's no question about it. Physically fit. And TK is not physically fit with the health conditions he has.
And his dad either. Him and his dad would not make it up those hills.
No.
It would not happen.
Hey, Clint. And that's why I told Frank Meister, it's like, you're going to have problems going up those hills.
Oh, yeah, trust me.
He did.
So let me tell you about our little adventure. I made it across the bridge. I went down the first hill, not too bad. Went across the private drive, and I walked up and down looking for a spot that you could go down the second hill. It was so steep, and the person with me said, well, I see a path here. Let's try this. Well, we got halfway down this path, and we slid the rest of the way down the hill. It was so steep. And then we got to the creek. Coming back, if we went up along the bridge, it was a little bit easier getting back up, but not much.
And from where the spot where the girls were found, I was standing there and I can look up and see the private drive with no problem. Why didn't investigators or any of the searchers see the girls if they were there on the 13th? Why weren't they seen from that private drive?
Mm-hmm.
Steph, I'm sorry if I scared you.
Yes, we did a scream test. So the people right across the creek from me heard it loud and clear.
Hold on a second, Marv. Hey, Fig, IGJP, he had family that lived on North Country Club Road.
And now we're not saying this is definitely BG. We're just saying this is a definite person of interest because of all the stuff that we have found in his background. It fits. Do you have a theory as to why IG killed the girls, or if he did?
No, at this point, we have not yet.
We've discussed one, but we'd rather not discuss it right at this time.
Yeah.
Has LE released a statement saying that JP failed his poly or that it was inconclusive? I want to see the legit statement. LE will not say anything about this case or anybody that they're looking into.
Yo, go back to the screaming part.
Go back to what?
When you guys did the screaming test while you were out there?
Yeah, so I did a scream test. Like I said, I was on the south side. Frank Meister was on the north side, and Randy was at the bridge. And I had him on the phone, and they're like, scream louder. I'm screaming as loud as I could. But it was very windy that day. They heard me, but it wasn't very loud.
And
Frank and support with Steffa, they heard me.
Oh, yeah. We were at this location where the girls were found, and we could hear Randy plain as day.
And I could hear Randy.
So,
in fact, I scared poor Frank Meister's friend who drove him that day.
Yeah, my buddy went with it.
Yeah, Steph, I'm sorry if I screamed and scared you when I screamed for Jennifer.
But this is a real good, I mean, we understand everybody's already talking about it. We see everybody basically knows who it is. And then what we were thinking and talking about with the retired detective is when he did the videos or the interviews and was acting all crazy. Well, the detective said killers will do that as a defense. Like, we want to verify some supposed comments if Sleuth will allow us or give us some insight on a couple of these comments he supposedly made that when he was questioned and asked if this ever got to trial, what do you think would happen? And supposedly IG said nothing because there's not going to be a trial. They're not going to catch them.
So we got a question from Grizz. Okay, how would IG move two bodies and stage by himself?
He probably would have had help.
He had help.
He had help. He wasn't alone. He had help.
Absolutely, because the train is absolutely grueling. Yes, it is. Support with stuff that says, yes, absolutely. I would have never made it if it was not for Ed Franklin.
I'm just saying, it's somebody to really look hard at. He could have staged the crime scene before he even committed the murders, guys. And no one even knew it.
Yeah.
Yep.
IG was out on the 12th with the drone. He can fly that drone up the creek up to where Ron Logan's place is, cross the way of Kay Weber. So he had more advantage to search places from his drone, looking on his cell phone, and figure out what would be the best routes for him to hide or leave the area real fast if he did this.
Okay, another point I want to make.
1 second. Digital. Who compiled the list of information you just read about IG? Was that research that you did yourselves? We did some of the research, and we also have a retired detective who is working with the three of us.
And he did look at the script. He looked
Yes,
at
and
all.
he went over that transcript with a fine-tooth comb. And Grizz, to answer your question, how could he have gotten the two bodies?
He's trained. He was trained in the military. You're trained to be able to handle more than one person at a time.
It is thundering and lightning here.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, good for
What the heck
you.
are you looking at?
But there is a point that I did want to make. They were saying that, was it that Keegan was in Vegas and he was researching about DNA, how long it lasts?
Mm-hmm.
What if his phone was cloned and it was actually IG researching that?
And all the Sandy Hook and other stuff?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's military, and if he sees any kind of like a terrorist attacks and stuff, he'll look into all this information. Like the FBI said, if he's looking at guns, weapons, places that look like he wants to do something. So basically, FBI's got so many points to look at, and what our detective said, he has all the points that the federal government would look at him for.
They got like a point system they have to meet before they can actually determine to make the person the number one prime suspect. And he said he came up with over 40 points, right at IG. That he said also that they have enough evidence to arrest him right now and charge him, but he believes the reason why they haven't is because they want to make sure they got a solid case where he cannot get out of anything.
Mm-hmm. And Fig says, I know about a TKKK relative who lives on Country Club Road who is not the grandparents. Right. But we're saying IG also has relatives that lives on Country Club Road.
See, TK and KK's neighbor, IG's father dated that the lady. So he had more access to anybody.
And Amy, the relative. So IG, his father dated a woman that lived right next door to
or across
TK and KK, or across the street, but right within that vicinity there.
In that area.
And as far as we know, did we find out if the relative on Country Club Road was there in February 2017? We
Yes,
did
they
verify
were.
that.
Yes.
Okay.
And the family where the ski mask guy was 12 miles away from IG residency. Okay, and we brought this up earlier that KK knew this family like it was his own family. He didn't have to call or get permission. He could just go over there anytime he wanted, knock on the door, they'd let him in. Now, supposedly the ski mask guy texted the girl pretending to be KK and asked for her address. Why would KK ask for the address if he already knew it? So that's telling us that it sounds like somebody cloned his phone again for pretending to be KK, but didn't actually know the address like KK did.
Stephanie, with your question, we talked about that too. He could plead insanity, and that was one the detective told us. Like, he can plead insanity to just get out of it. Everybody pleads insanity when they go to court. That's their first thing they would do. To think, oh, I was crazy at the time and don't remember, or I'm pleading insanity. Yes. So they can do that. That's one of the ways they can get out of it. Not going to prison.
Vid inquiries. I feel they thought the girls, mainly Libby, wouldn't fight back as much as they did. So that's why they were murdered, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't think that anybody... I think they underestimated Libby.
Yeah, as big as she was, yeah.
Yeah. Digital says, Sleuth, did law enforcement say this guy wasn't involved, or did he or his family make that statement to you? I thought KAK said one of his friends lives on that specific road, and it's near his grandparents.
He didn't say there was a friend he went to school with, lives on the street.
Stories from the Stone. I could just barely hear you from the bridge, but I was listening for it. I had no idea where you were screaming. I wouldn't have noticed it.
It was really quiet. Like, it was very hard to hear.
It was very hard to hear. And that could have been some from the wind, too, because the wind was whipping that day.
Maybe I should have gone down there and screamed where you were at. See if people hear me.
He served in the military for 6 years, Riz.
We love the lightning.
Dog scared. Okay. Fig says, okay, thank you. That is good info. Thank you for sharing. You're welcome. Did JP post a video a few months ago cussing and ranting about BG not being caught yet? Whoever did that video acted berserk.
Yeah, he's got some videos out there, guys. I've been watching them, and it's weird. Weird.
How? Yeah, well, see, it's like that's the part that if you watch him as much as everybody does, there is something wrong with him. You start wondering how he's acting towards on the camera to different people, and especially as the knowledge he knows computers and everything else. Pretending to be he's crazy type deal, then that's how he can go to court and get away with it.
So we did talk to our retired detective extensively last night, and he did say that it was possible that the girls could have been at that spot all along and that the searchers did miss them. So we have to look into that.
Because where the area was told Frank last year, I said, what do you think when you see Kay Weber's side, the hill, you can see the top of her hill, and then there's a top of the hill where you can look down where they were standing. It's just a question, why didn't they see them? They're right there. There was no leaves or trees or high grass at all at that point. So they should have saw the girls on the 13th.
Yeah, when I was standing in the area where they found the girls, and I could look straight up and see the private drive. No problem at all. And it was I mean, sorry to talk about it, but man, I felt the girl's presence when I was standing in the area. I felt it.
I felt them at the memorial too.
I was like, whoa.
And I do have photos, you guys, and I do have video, and I'm trying to get it all together. We've got it on
2 cameras,
2 cameras, and about 3 phones. So I'm trying to get it all collected, and we'll get that out to you here. Probably, what is today? Tuesday?
Yeah, it's Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
I would say by Friday at the latest.
Maybe, depending on
what do you mean?
Depending if power doesn't go out.
Yeah, depending if power doesn't go out.
Because there is a possibility for that.
The kids are already banking on a snow day tomorrow.
Yeah.
Still, one person, the Libby was covered with leaves and branches. Abby wasn't. Libby was covered with leaves and branches from the stomach to up top to her head. She was naked up top, and she still had her pants on. So that was the only part that was covered.
Okay, there's a...
Hey, Aubrey.
Okay, I think no. So at the beginning, we said we're not doing initials. We're not doing names. We gave the POI a generic name, and it was Internet Geek. And we mushed it down to IG.
Yeah.
Looking for any more questions.
So now I already know what happened to him. I talked to the detective. I talked to a different detective. So I know what happened. Where things were out there. That I already know. So yes, leaves and twigs were on top of Libby's chest area, from the stomach to the chest area. She was topless.
So what would have been IG's motive? Did he lure the girls?
He used the catfishing by if we're correct, he cloned the phone and catfished them through the Anthony Shots account.
And if Libby did something to instigate him to do what he was going to do, then he knows what he did to the girls.
I like Anna's comment. How convenient, going for mental treatment. Here in Idaho, we can't get Vallow Daybell in court. Lori Vallow is incompetent in a mental hospital.
She played that game. She played that game. She knows what she was doing. If she plays paranoid, and she won't have to show up to court.
Is IG and KK about the same age?
Almost, I think.
Close.
Yeah. Stephanie sent something to you, Frank Meister.
Check my text.
Oh, she sent a text.
Yeah. Where's it at?
I am finally mostly convinced the searchers missed the crime scene. I understand the excuses, but I still think the crime scene was findable early on.
Oh, yeah. If you look.
Can I answer Steph's question she just asked me on my phone?
Sure.
Yes, he was involved in selling small quantities of marijuana.
So basically, you can stand on top of the hill where, before you go down to War the Creek on Ron Logan's place, you can see the bodies there at that time. And if you stand on Kate Weber's hill on her property, you'll be able to see the bodies there. So this is where we can't understand how they missed the bodies. If they looked down there and they didn't see them, there's something wrong. You can't miss Abby wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt. How can you miss that? Especially if she was wearing a pink shirt. How would you miss that?
And this still hasn't been explained either. The 13th, the sergeant from the ISB who was in charge of the search during that evening, they said they walked the creek beds from the Monon Bridge all the way around to where the bodies were located, but didn't find anything. But so miraculously, the next morning when they started to search again, they found undergarments and a shoe under the bridge. Now, can someone explain that to me?
And then you have two screamings at 2:00 a.m. and 6 a.m. And we believe at 2 a.m. that's when they were doing something to the girls. At 2 a.m.
All right, Mark. This question's for you. Do you have what's your opinion on this case?
This is very weird. I do believe that the girls were killed soon after they were like taken off of the south side of the bridge.
Yeah.
And then the screams were probably could have just been searchers thinking they found something, or they could have just fell or something. I don't think it was the girls.
Okay.
But yeah.
So what do you think about what kind of person would have done this?
What do you mean by that?
Bridge guy. You've seen his picture. You've heard his voice. What do you think about him?
You would think that they would have caught him by now because of both audio and video, but I guess it would be a little difficult with the blurred out pictures because it's kind of pixelated. And definitely I think someone does know who they are, because law enforcement has kind of put hints and clues that it's multiple people.
Yep.
So it's probably not just one person.
Now, you saw the bridge firsthand. You got to walk on the first part of it. You did not go all the way across. But knowing that Libby was still taking video as he was walking towards them, do you believe that on that video there's a clear picture that law enforcement's not giving us?
Well, from
knowing your cell phone,
knowing experience from my phone, whenever I zoom in closer, it does kind of get a little blurry. So she could have been like zooming in, but as it still should be clear enough that you would be able to see the face and sort of stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've taken many zoomed up photos before.
Yes, you have. I've got enough zoomed up photos of my eyeballs.
I have some really good ones of her. But even when you zoom up, you should definitely still be able to see the picture clearly. So I definitely believe that it was tampered with, and that could have been something that if Bridge Guy or one of the other people that were involved did find the phone, they could have tampered with the photo.
I never thought about that.
Well, see, the other thing is Libby keeps on changing
her setting and filters.
Yeah. So that if she didn't mess with it anymore, like she would have got the same type of picture as Abby. If she left it that way, she should have got a picture just like Abby. Be able, and even the video would be clearer. But I got a suggestion. Some of these people who want to come out to recreate the scene, you can come and let me know. I'll meet you out there at the trail when it's a nice day. We'll take a photo and have people come out and see what it looks like, what we see.
And I can tell you that we did get a photo.
Yes.
The next day. And there's 2 people under the bridge. One is in all dark clothes. One is in bright clothes. And you can clearly see the person in the bright clothes. But you got to kind of... I asked Frank, I said, how many people do you see under the bridge here? He says, 1. I said, check again. There's 2. He's like, where? And I had to tell him where the second person was. And that picture of the second person does look a lot like that first picture we found under the bridge. But we were in the wrong location too. We had the people higher up and they should have been down more. So we do have to get that picture again.
I'm sorry, I wore too bright of clothing.
But yeah. If anybody wants to go out there, tell me. I'll come out there and we can all create that scene so everybody can see it in person, knowing what it is, so they can understand. Just let me know. We'll pick a warm day and we'll go out there, recreate the scene, take a photo of each body down underneath, and see what they think.
Okay, I missed something from Boston here. Because she said they have Aztec death scream whistles. They sound just like a woman screaming. Pull them up on YouTube. But I can't find the first part of what she's talking about.
Okay, Mama, just let me know when you want to do that. So if people want to come out, we'll do the recreation, okay? So Mama would be interested in doing that. Cool. Just let me know. Just message me on my Facebook page.
Anna says, I'm fishing for an answer about if pictures were taken of the crime, what kind, how were they used, etc. There's rumors that pictures and videos were taken of the crime, but nobody's ever seen them. What's his motivation to kill 2 young girls?
I think it's something Libby did. If she did something talking to him on the phone and he cloned her phone, there's something that she said might have upset him when they arrived at the trails. We're always saying the killer somehow got upset by either by the trails and whatever it was, and be able to do that. So I think that's what it was. He probably got rejected. I think he saw something of Libby that Libby shouldn't have done. But if she was doing something, getting ready to go to bed or something like that, he was watching her from her phone. Sometimes people don't know the phone is on. The video is on. These hackers are very good to hack in the cell phones and turn on that video. You see in most of these cases, the security cameras, people...
Bless you.
Thanks. People hacking these security cameras, watching people in their homes. And that's would be another thing. If cell phones, computers, they can hack the computers, turn your camera on that you didn't know.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So basically, if you're walking around your house with no clothes on, he's watching you.
Hey, hold on, guys.
What?
Detective Steve texted me. He said he's loving the show. He wants to know what investigators are doing, if think it was okay to do the continuation or information of North Country Club Laurel. What we are planning to do, we just made our own script here, Steve. and left out all names and everything, location of the place where we know the family member lives. We left all that out, but we're going to send an actual copy with all the true information to LE on the tip line.
And I just want to answer this question because this is a question I get all the time. Why is this young boy in this? This young boy has been brought up knowing everything about life. I don't sugarcoat things. I don't hide things from my kids. They know, about stranger danger and everything that can happen in the world. They're both my son and my daughter are into true crime on their own. It was his idea to start this channel, so we did, and we chose to do it together. And I think it's a good thing because it brings a different perspective into the situation. These kids have a different way to look at it. It teaches him critical thinking. And at the same time, we are going to move on to other stories and try to help other families. And he wants to be a part of that.
And another thing I want to say about Detective Steve, he sent us three a thing about critical thinking. And that's one thing that us three agreed on from the get-go when we started us all working together, is that we have to have critical thinking and looking a complete 360 at the whole situation and not be stuck on one thing.
Yeah.
And he said, you got to think outside of a box when it comes to these kind of cases. And we noticed that a lot of people aren't, and that's why we went our own direction.
Sure is weird. Someone on the trail that day did a play in high school about girls missing from a bridge.
It's the one that DP did with that girl in high school.
Oh, yeah.
The red hair. Has red hair.
Judy says, I hate to say this, but I'm leaning toward pics being taken at crime scene and possibly sold to a bottom feeder. Or they're on the very dark, dark web where none of us are going to see them.
Snow Explorer, don't cause problems.
Did IG do crime with a few others or alone? I don't think this was done alone.
Yeah, he had help.
Hey, Mr. Snow Explorer, no disrespect, man, but that's her son. She raises him the way she feels need to. So I appreciate if you'd keep the comments down about that.
Jennifer, make me a mod so I can take care of things on here.
You got it.
I'm getting so used to it now.
It's all right, buddy. Don't worry about it.
There we go.
All right, you're a mod.
All right, cool.
That's right, Grizz. Family bonding. That's what it's called.
Yeah. I have things that I do just with my daughter. I have things that I do with just my son. It's a way for me to make sure that I keep that connection with them. Do you think it was memorabilia?
I mean, there's hearsay that there was trophies taken with hair locks, I guess. Took some hair from both girls. That's a trophy or memorabilia, if it's true. But no one knows. There's no factual confirmation that there was hair taken.
Right.
So we won't know
Thank you,
that.
Vid Inquiries. Let's see here.
What other questions you guys have?
Snowwalker, I appreciate your opinion. Each of us have our own opinions, and this is just my way of bringing my kids up. We love that smart young man. Proud of him for being so invested in something like this. Thank you. Okay. Digital says, remember the photo IG displayed on social media of a table full of items that look similar to what BG could have used? Yes, I do remember that.
So BG had almost everything under that jacket of his, pants, whatever it was. He was ready to kill somebody that day. He didn't care who it was. But if there was other people out that day, why didn't he do those other people? It seems like he wanted Libby and Abby type deal, or hoping that it would be Libby and Kelsey. And if Abby didn't come along, but it seems like it was going towards Libby. And since he was talking to IG, was talking to Libby, thinking their TK or KK would be there, using that Anthony Shots bank account.
Yep.
But definitely he's going to receive first-degree murder. He plotted to kill somebody.
So do we have any other questions? Thank you all for your support for Mark. I appreciate it. Tomorrow, this young man has a birthday.
Yay.
All right. 13 now?
Yep.
Oh, boy.
See, now if I get reported on Facebook again,
yes,
I can't get like suspended or anything.
He got suspended on Facebook because somebody reported him.
But it was you who set up his Facebook. Lavender Sunset. Yes, he could have cloned Libby's phone. That's why she had to reset her phone. It wouldn't ping around town. There's only 2 towers out there. It would be pinging in that area only. Collect. Well, he could, if he put all that stuff underneath his clothes and jacket. Yes, he could have killed the girls, and he has ways to change his voice too. So he could be the good voice changer on a lot of things.
Digital has a good question. Do we know if IG has any connections to any of the other men, women witnesses that were known to be on the bridge that day?
My honest opinion, I would have to say there's a possibility, yes, because a lot of the people in that area were doing drugs, marijuana, and they were
buying, selling to each
Yeah.
other.
right.
Especially all along that road. So
It was,
dealers.
it was known there in the trails for people to be selling drugs.
Yeah. Cemetery, they go to the cemeteries, trails at a certain time, make sure there nobody's there to be able to sell the drugs. Yes, it said Cheyenne worked at Subaru.
Cheyenne worked at Subaru?
That's what Kim K said. I still see where are you? Kim K said yes. Cheyenne worked at Subaru.
Huh.
So that's interesting. What part of IG worked in? He would have to work in computers if he's got knowledge of computers.
Oh, we know what department he worked in at Subaru. I gave it the information to Marvelous.
He worked.
He was an associate something.
He worked in special controls.
Okay.
So is IG the man under the bridge in the pic you found of Cheyenne's?
Possibly.
Anybody got a...
I think the incident was over before that picture was taken. So I'm going to have to go with no.
Do you have a P.O. box? Can you text it to me later when you get time? I do not have a P.O. box yet, but I'll be getting one, and then I'll send you the information.
We can put it in the descriptions when we
Yep.
get one.
Good, informative live. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Grizz. How much might drugs be involved with IG and the crime? Not suggesting the girls were using drugs. Drugs keep coming back. When every angle that we reach out to and research and look at, drugs are a key factor in all those angles.
We're close to Chicago, so all the drugs do come from Chicago to down here. DP is also the same as his name. Oh, okay. So basically, yeah, Chicago, all the drugs come from Chicago.
Right.
And so that's where they come from.
Chicago is your major hub in that area.
Yeah.
Did IG have a major upset in his life right before the crime? I don't think we know that.
No, not yet.
This is a good question, too. If a phone has been cloned, would it ping at two places?
The only two places will be in between those two towers out there, and that's it. It wouldn't be pinging around town because there's no other towers or in other place in town. It's just those two out in the country where Ron Logan's house is and on close to where Abby lives. So it would ping there. But if he changed his phone, and they wouldn't recognize whose phone number it is. Like I said,
he was using a burner phone.
Yeah, burner phone. Yeah.
You can't trace a burner phone.
Because I go out there, they'll know the place knows what phone numbers are out there. Like we went out there on our walk, they'll look up all our phone numbers. They know exactly who it is.
Mm-hmm.
And the detective I talked to, he got the phone number from being out there. No one else knew my phone number. And he called my phone number. So they know who's all out there. They keep track who visits and stuff. Like anybody shows up at any time when people leave, yeah, they're going to find out who it is.
Yeah. If IG is the killer and he's an electronics genius, why did he fail to secure, remove, and or destroy Libby's phone?
Bobby couldn't find it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Going down the hill, she dropped it, and he couldn't find it.
She already sent it to her cloud, so like they said, Snapchat, you take one picture, it disappears. It won't be there anymore.
Art's question. Does IG have a prior criminal history? No.
Technically, he does.
But
it's not like anything physical or anything like that.
Right.
But
Does he have DNA on record or his prints on record due to these crimes?
Yes, his prints are, but I don't know about the DNA.
Okay. Thanks. Good night, Colette. If he hacked her phone, couldn't he erase everything? Yeah, if he had her phone, yes, it'd be possible. But his fingerprints would be on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
So he would have to use his burner phone or some other from his computer be able to erase it. But he seems like he didn't know that he was caught on the camera on her cell phone. It seems like, but he knew they had the phone. Libby knew. The killer knew that Libby had the phone.
Exactly, Kim. If the phone was found by the shoe, it may have been a struggle, and that was how the phone was dropped or thrown. And our detective did talk to us last night about that.
Yeah.
Maybe IG wanted phone found. It basically framed the Kleins. Very good point. The Evansdale, Iowa girls and the Delphi girls resemble each other. Is there a pair of girls in IG's life that resemble these girls?
On that one, I found information. There were, in that area, there were two people, a male and a female.
Hold
on. I'm checking it now. Oh, no.
I think he may have recorded that video himself and dressed to look like someone else. Oh, that would be interesting. And maybe that is why it's reported that Libby was undressed. He was searching for the phone. Could be.
He also could have been using her upper half to make it look like a sexual thing to frame Keegan.
Yep. Yeah. Now, Kim K says, yes, there are girls in his life that look like the girls.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird that the killer didn't undress Libby all the way. It just that her top was part naked. So it's like, why leave that top naked and the other part not? So that's the question of what was he doing? Was he into looking at girls a certain way? Then it could happen that he was looking at Libby in a certain way if he was talking to him.
I see somebody by the name of Like the Morning who is IG. Once again, no disrespect with William, will not be using names or initials of the people that we are looking at.
So we gave them a fictitious name and we named him Internet Geek, and we're using IG as a shortened version.
Okay, Boston says it's just ended on the news. Delphi after this poll up. Channel 4 News. Watch it. What did they say on the news?
I just turned it on and I missed it.
Boston, what did they say about the Delphi?
Susan Lee says the cryptic sign left at Trails on 4-year anniversary matches JP's writings, symbols, magic marker. Randy, do you know what she's talking about? About a cryptic sign left at the Trails on the 4th year?
No, not really. Where was this cryptic sign at?
And then Stephanie says, what about the comment he made on video about someone urinating in the cemetery?
I don't know. That's a good question. I have nothing to know about that. What do you think? As above, so below. Is that what he's saying? Is that where it came from?
If you clone one,
Hey, we're not going to comment on anybody else's channel. Sorry, Mr. Like the Morning. We don't do that.
How far away from Delphi did IG live at the time of the crime?
Delphi. Here, hold on. It's like 37 minutes. Hold on. I'll tell you. It's 37 minutes to drive from Peru to Delphi. And let me see here. Let me get to it. It's.
Hey, Marv.
Yes.
Bruce is asking the question, what do you call it on the 5th year mark of the anniversary of the girls? Do you want to discuss that since basically everybody knows who we're talking about now?
At start of Susan Lee says at the start of the trail she believes was this cryptic message.
It is.
We're just going to leave that one
38
alone.
miles. So 38 miles from Peru to Delphi.
Hey, Bruce, no, we're not going to discuss that.
Kim K says, I thought about that too. I just have IG on my list, but I have a few different theories. I think anyone there that day needs to be brought in all at once for interrogation. That would be interesting.
So yeah, it's 38 miles from Peru to Delphi, to the cemetery area.
And Digital, yes, he said he drove there every day to go to work.
It's kind of odd that there's other ways to go to SIA. He can gone through Peru, Kokomo, and go that way to SIA. It's strange why you would have to go through Delphi, then back up. So he's taking a longer route to work for SIA. There's other ways you can get to SIA faster than what he's doing. And I don't understand why he's taking that route.
Yeah. So the cryptic sign was discussed in a video by Sunny Justice, she believes. We'll have to take a look.
How easy is it to enter the cemetery? Big rigs can't drive back there. And no rigs are allowed in the cemetery. KD is the bomb. Right here. No.
Who said that?
It's Susan Lee.
She's going with the cryptic letter. We're not going there right now.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that message. The drawing.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, it is almost 10:15 here, so I have to be up early for work. We are going to end this here tonight. And like I said, barring the fact that I do not lose power during the storm, I am going to try to make sure that all the video and pictures are put together so we can do a live and show you what the walk was like.
And like I said, if anybody wants to come to do a reenactment at the bridge, we'll do it. I'll let you know on my channel when we do it. Hopefully, have a nice day weekend type deal. I know we got Mama wants to go. So anybody else, let me know when I do my video. We'll do it on a warm day.
Yes, support with Steffa. Can you email it to me?
Huh?
Vid Inquiry says she hopes you get a snow day for your birthday.
That's what I'm hoping. We have one snow day left.
One snow day left? Oh my. All right, Angela, cool. I'll let you know when. Yeah, I'm praying.
Lots of happy birthdays came through too. So thank you for joining us tonight, Randy, Frank Meister. Wonderful as always. Can't wait till we do it again.
All right, guys. Good night.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.